मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीकृष्णं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादां प्रभु से।
वेरी पुअर। मंगलाचरण भी नहीं याद है। कहाँ हमारी प्रैक्टिस है? दोबारा बोले, ध्यान से। प्रार्थना है, प्रार्थना करके।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं कृष्ण पादां सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धो वैव च पतितानां पापनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिने ते नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। So continuing our discussion on the third verse. The third verse is the verse which gives us the goal. What should be the desired goal of one who is approaching Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? In a way, it is Atmakaha. Mangalacharan has three aspects: Vastu Nirdesh, Namaskar, and Ashirvad. So what is the Ashirvad that Srila Vyasadeva is giving? He is inviting all the sincere students of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to relish the sweetness of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That is the goal. That is the prayojan. Nigam kalpataror galitam phalam shukhamukhadamridda visamyatam pivata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavaka. Very, very pristine and very serene. How many of you have drunk it? How many of you have drunk it? Recite. Those who have tasted this sweetness of this verse, please recite. Kisko yaad hua? Priyanka?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
निगमकल्पतरुर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखाद् अमृतं द्रवसंयुतं पीबतं भागवतं रसम् आलयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः.
Very nice. Wonderful. Yes, Manini Mataji. Boliye.
निगम कल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतं द्रवसंयुतं पिबतं भागवतं रसमालयम् अमुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकः।
बहुत अच्छा, वेरी नाइस। यस सोनिका।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। निगम कल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखाद अमृत द्रव संयुक्तं पीबतं भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुका।
वेरी नाइस, 1 मिनट, एक सेकंड। यस दर्शन प्रभु, आपका कैमरा ब्लर हो गया, क्या हो गया? क्लीन द कैमरा, I cannot see you. Someone else who has memorized?
Yes,
Everyone should memorize. हाँ बोलिए रविंद्र मधुसूदन प्रभु।
निगमाकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरः रसिका भुवि भावुका।
Very nice. By your recitation, we could experience the sweetness. Wonderful. Pradeep?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। निगम कल्पतरुर्गलितं फलं सुखमुख अमृत द्रव संयुतं पीबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिक भुवि भावुका।
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, दयाशील, लेकिन अपना कैमरा ऑन करिए। दयाशील प्रभु। Yes, recite.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हाँ बोलिए।
निगमकल्पतरुर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतं द्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुका।
बहुत अच्छा, वंडरफुल। प्रणब?
Sorry, bro, not memorized.
No, you have to memorize. This lame excuse I will not accept. Okay, you recite the second verse.
धर्म प्रज्वहित कैटवत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् साधु हृदय
No. Śrīmad-Bhāgavate
श्रीमद्भागवते कृते
महामुनि कृते।
महामुनि कृते
किं वा
परेरीश्वर साधु हृदय अवरुद्धते पृथिवी संशुद्धि तत्क्षणात्।
No, again. Not clear.
धर्म प्रज्वहित कैटवत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनि कृते किं वा परेरीश्वर साधु हृदय अवरुद्धते पृथिवी संशुद्धि तत्क्षणात्।
साध्य हृदय अवरोधते अत्र
पृथिवी
शुश्रुभि तत्क्षणात्।
शुश्रुभि तत्क्षणात्।
You have to practice. See, if you don't practice, no pain and no gain. 88,000 sages for 1,000 years they were hearing Bhagavatam without sleep, without eating and without drinking. What about us? How that rasamalayam will be tasted? If the effort is not that, that rasa will never unfold. That will never be revealed. Who has not recited so far? Dayashil.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I could not recite in practice, Prabhuji.
This kind of lame excuse is not acceptable. Did you eat or not during the day? Answer me. Did you eat?
Yes, Prabhuji, I ate, Prabhuji.
How many times?
3 times, Prabhuji. 3 times.
Then we are still absorbed in eating and sleeping and all nonsense. And we want to become a leader of Bhagavatam. How is it possible? Then that means we have no taste for Bhagavatam. Manoram Prabhu, you please recite.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam sukamukhat amritadrava sangyutam pibata bhagavatam rasam alayam muhuraha rasika bhuvi bhavukaha.
Very nice. Wonderful. At least write 4 or 5 times. I can assure you, if you write 5 times, definitely you will be able to remember the verse. If not full verse, at least half verse. If not half verse, even the quarter of the verse. But saying that I did not do it, then that is not good. That means we have no desire to taste this fruit. Yes, Ganesh Prabhu.
निगमकल्पतरुर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखाद्रव संयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरवो रसिका भुवि भावुका.
Yeah. You have tasted the juice, the sweetness of Bhagavatam. Wonderful. Yeah. Devashish Prabhu, बोलिए.
निगमकल्पतरु
गलितम
गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पीबत भागवतं रसमाल्यं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुक.
Very nice. Very nice. Wonderful. Please प्रयास करिए. प्रयास करेंगे तो जरूर सफल हो जाएंगे. The effort in itself is success. If we are really observing Kartik, then we have to spare some extra time from our ordinary material and mundane activity. Okay, so here we see that Srila Vyasadeva is inviting everyone who is approaching Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to taste the highest fruit, the nectar of Rasamalayam. So we will take the purport today. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literature. It is both the desired tree and it is the mature fruit of Vedic literature. So it brings meaning to the Vedas. Otherwise, Vedas entangle the living entity within the 3 modes. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful. Although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including the liberated soul. In the 2 previous slokas, it has been definitely proved that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the sublime literature which surpasses all other Vedic scriptures due to its transcendental qualities. What is that one line which confirms the statement what Srila Prabhupada is opening with? That this is sublime literature which surpasses all other Vedic scripture due to its transcendental qualities. What is the transcendental quality of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Many, but prominently which one? Boliye? Yes, Manoram Prabhu.
Prabhuji, one thing I think yesterday also we discussed that it places the Supreme Lord in devotee's heart.
Yeah. But before it places the Supreme Lord in the heart, what it does?
It removes the material desires.
No, that was not it. No, it removes the root of the material desire. How? How? We discussed that in the second verse. You have to just connect. Anyone else can answer? Boliye? Otherwise, how we will accept that this is the transcendental literature? Quickly, why you are so much puzzled? It should be clear to everyone. Yes, Ramya?
Prabhuji, it removes the trividha tapa.
Very good. It removes the illusion and it removes the trividha. Vedyam vastam atra vastu shivadam tapotraya unmoolanam. See, unless and until that happens, so that see the progression. The first progression, the progression says dharma projito kaitava atra parmo nirmat saranam satam. So it kicks away all the cheating religion. So it kicks away the cheating religion. That means it establishes the living entity to practice the highest religion. And when one is practicing the highest religion, that is the devotional service to the Supreme Absolute Truth, then it surpasses all other kinds of worship and it removes illusion and all the threefold material miseries are terminated. Then, as you said, sadhyo hridaya varodate atkritavi. It places the Supreme Lord in the heart only when one has been free from illusion. So here Prabhupada is saying, which surpasses all other Vedic scriptures due to its transcendental quality. It is transcendental to all mundane activities. Okay, I'll share on the screen. It is transcendental to all mundane activities and mundane knowledge. All other branches of knowledge, it surpasses. This is the highest knowledge. In this shloka, it is stated that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is not only a superior literature, but it is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. In other words, it is the cream of all Vedic knowledge. Considering all this, patient and submissive hearing is definitely essential. With great respect and attention, one should receive the message and lesson imparted by the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So this is the conviction that the practitioner or the aspirant must have. The Vedas are compared to the desire tree because they contain all things knowable by man. So Veda is compared here, Prabhupada is mentioning here, to the desire tree. They deal with mundane necessities as well as spiritual realizations. The Vedas contain regulative principles of knowledge covering social, political, religious, economic, military, medicinal, chemical, physical, metaphysical subject matter, and all that may be necessary to keep the body and soul together. That is material existence. Above and beyond all this are specific directions for spiritual realization. Regulated knowledge involves a gradual raising of the living entity to the spiritual platform. And the highest spiritual realization is knowledge that the personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all spiritual taste or rasa. This is the personal feature, the highest realization. That is personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all spiritual taste or rasa. So neither he is formless and neither he is tasteless. He has the most beautiful form and he is the reservoir of all rasas. That is why Krishna is known as Akhil Rasamrit Murti. He is the reservoir of all pleasure and taste. Every living entity beginning from Brahma, the firstborn living being within the material world, down to the insignificant ant, desire to relish some sort of taste derived from sense perception. So Prabhupada is taking it deeper. That what is the quest or search of each and every living entity in the material existence? That every living entity is in want of, in desire of some taste or some rasa which he can relish. And how he is attempting? He is attempting to taste or have that experience by his sense perception, by his senses. These sensual pleasures are technically called rasas. So please be very careful. Prabhupada is giving a very gross understanding. That does not mean this is the final understanding. Prabhupada is making us to connect, to understand the concept of what is rasa. The sensual pleasures are technically called rasa. Rasa means that there is some taste, some mellow, or something pleasurable which one experiences. So in material existence, how do we experience pleasure? Is through the senses, or through the mind, or even through the intellect. But predominantly it is through the senses. So Prabhupada is quoting here that these sensual pleasures are technically called rasas. Such rasas are of different varieties. In the revealed scripture, the following 12 varieties of rasas are enumerated. If you actually take it deeper, rasa means relationship. Relationship of the living entity with another living entity. So that is what drives, or where one derives some pleasure or some satisfaction or some taste, which gives satisfaction to the living entity. So Prabhupada is mentioning that there are 12 such rasas. Such rasas are of different varieties. In the revealed scripture, the following 12 varieties of rasas are enumerated. Raudra, it is anger. Adbhut, wonder. Third is Shringar, conjugal love. Fourth is Hasya, which is comedy. Fifth is Veera, chivalry. Sixth is Dasya or mercy. Sixth is Daya or mercy. Seventh is Dasya or servitorship. 8 is Sakhya, fraternity. 9 is Bhayanik, horror. 10 is Bhivatsa, shock. 11th is Shanta, neutrality. And 12 is Vatsalya, parenthood. So these are the 12 rasas. But Prabhupada has not categorized them. As we all know, there are 5 primary or basic rasas that Prabhupada has mentioned even in Bhagavad Gita when he begins the introduction. You all know the 5 basic rasas or the 5 basic relationship that the living entity can foster with the Supreme Lord. What is the first one? Ganesh Prabhu, which is the first relationship?
Dasyaras.
Huh?
Dasyaras.
No. It does not begin with Dasya. Yes, Ramindra Prabhu?
Prabhuji, Shantaras.
Shantaras, neutrality. That is the beginning. Then there is Dasya. And then higher than Dasya is Sakhya, which is friendship or fraternity. Then Vatsalya. And then we have the Shringaras or the Madhuryaras or the Kantaras. So these are the 5 primary rasas. And those who are not in these 5 rasas, they can still develop another 7 types of rasas, which are called as the secondary rasas. So Prabhupada is mentioning all of them here. So what are these rasas? You have to cite some examples also. Raudra, anger. Who displayed this rasa? Raudra, anger. You have to give some examples. Yes, Sonika? Yes, Sonika, you can speak. Your hand is up.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Raudra Roop was exhibited by Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva. How and when?
In annihilation of the creation.
So this is in relation with the Supreme Lord.
In that case, Prabhuji, in case of Lord Narasimha, he showed the Raudra Roop.
Yeah. Lord Narasimha showed the anger. Transcendental anger. And he was so much angry that he ripped apart the chest of Hiranyakashipu. Why? Because he was very, very angry over the atrocities made by Hiranyakashipu towards his devotee Prahlad. So that was his anger. No one had the courage to approach Narasimha. Even Brahmaji refused. Mother Lakshmi also refused. So Brahmaji requested Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is in which rush? Prahlad Maharaj is in which rush? Yes, Ramya Mataji.
Dasyaras.
Shanta, mainly Shanta. Also, there is some Dasya. Mainly Shantaras. And he could pacify. He could pacify. Prabhupada gives in Nectar of Devotion who is in which rasa. So Prahlad Maharaj is predominantly in Shanta rasa, but yes, there is some overlapping of Dasya rasa also in that relationship. So these rasas are the basis of relationship. The sum total of all these rasas is called affection or love. Very important. So in this rasas, in this various rasas, there is exchange. And what does the exchange signify? It signifies affection or love. So actually speaking, what is rasa? Is that feeling of love and affection which is exchanged. So that is the rasa. So different devotees have different feelings, and in different way they express their affection and love for Krishna. And that becomes the basis of one's experience of that taste, that mellow, that is called rasa. Primary such signs of love are manifested in adoration, service, friendship, parental affection, and conjugal love. Same thing. That is Shanta, Dasya, then there is Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. When these fives are absent, see, please try to understand the conception. When these fives are absent, but the love is present indirectly, then it is exhibited in anger, wonder, comedy, chivalry, fear, shock, and so on. There is another example of very beautiful example. It is coming to my mind of anger, the transcendental anger of Krishna. Of course, it is the overlapping of another rasa, which is the Veera rasa. In the battle of Mahabharata, when Bhishma Dev was showering his very, very sharp arrows towards Arjuna, almost with the intensity to kill him. And that made Krishna become enraged with anger. Krishna became so much enraged with anger that Krishna gave up his promise. And he pulled the wheel of his chariot and he charged towards Bhishma Dev to kill him, to slay him immediately. There is a very beautiful exchange when we will come into the 9th chapter. So Bhishma Dev is remembering that how in that transcendental anger that Krishna approached him. And Bhishma Dev also before that, how he was expressing his love and affection towards Lord is very, very amazing. By shooting very sharp arrows. And these sharp arrows were piercing the body of Krishna and blood was oozing out from them. And when the blood was oozing out from them, neither was Bhishma Dev embarrassed, nor was Krishna annoyed. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada writes that this shooting of arrows of Bhishma Dev is a show of love and affection. And Prabhupada writes in that purport, it is like that one devotee who is offering flower to the lotus feet of the Lord. In the same way, Srila Bhishma Dev is showering arrows and piercing the transcendental body of the Lord. So Krishna is accepting the arrows as the offering of roses to his lotus feet. Very beautiful. So that is the rasa relationship. So Krishna is also experiencing that enjoyment and Bhishma Dev is also experiencing that enjoyment. So different devotees have different rasas. And what is the primary thing? Is that loving devotional service. That here Prabhupada is saying, it is the exchange of love and affection. So that love and affection is exchanged through various relationships. And different devotees have different relationships and differently they perform devotional service. So Prabhupada is saying, for example, when a man is in love with woman, the rasa is called conjugal love. But when such loving affairs are disturbed, there may be wonder, anger, shock, or even horror. Sometimes loving affairs between two persons culminate in ghastly murder scenes. Such rasas are displayed between man and between animal and animal. So if you have to experience rasa, there has to be two. One cannot experience any rasa alone. It is not possible. So rasa can only be experienced in relationship. And the highest rasa which Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is offering, it is in relationship with the Supreme Lord. So those who are those thoughtful and intelligent men, so what are they doing? While they are studying Bhagavatam, they are drinking that rasa. That rasa of relationship of Krishna with his intimate devotees. This is what Bhagavatam is. That is Muhuraho Rasikaha. If you see, Muhur is always And Rasika are those who are in full knowledge of mellows, of this relationship between the Lord and his devotee. And I gave the example, Bhuvi is on this planet, on this earth, while even they are on this earth, they are drinking this rasa constantly, uninterruptedly. There is no possibility of an exchange or rasa between a man and an animal, or between an animal and any other species or living being within this material world. The rasas are exchanged between the members of the same species. But as far as the spirit souls are concerned, they are one qualitatively with the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the rasas were originally exchanged between the spiritual living being and the spiritual whole, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The spiritual exchange of rasa is fully exhibited in spiritual existence between living beings and the Supreme Lord. So that loving exchange of the highest level is fully exhibited in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. What is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the expansion and explanation of the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees. So that highest level of rasa is experienced when one approaches Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam submissively and attentively hears. So that rasa can be experienced by sincere students of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is therefore described in the Shruti mantras, Vedic hymns, as the fountainhead of all rasas. Akhil Rasamrit Murtihi. Akhil Rasamrit is the reservoir of all rasas. And the highest rasa is that Amrit, that nectar. And his Murti is the fountainhead or the personification. When one associates with the Supreme Lord and exchanges one constitutional rasa with the Lord, then the living being is actually happy. This is the secret. This is the key of how the living entity can experience real happiness in this world. When one associates with the Lord and exchanges one constitutional rasa with the Lord, that is of service. Our Prabhupada says with love and affection. Service also exhibits love and affection. Prabhupada said that when one is doing service, how much he is inclined to do service, you can know by the details. Details are the signs of one's love. So if you are doing it superfluously, then it is what? It is a show. But if you go into the depth and each and every detail, that is the sign of affection and love. Like a mother. The mother who is nursing her child. She knows each and every detail. What is the right time for the child to be fed? What is the right time for the child to be massaged? What is the right time for the child to be taken care of, to sleep? So much she is completely absorbed in the thoughts of the child. And then only it is possible with such mother's love and affection that the child grows up. So similarly, to the extent we are very much in tune and our consciousness is inclined in performing our devotional service, how can you say that I did not get time to study, or I did not get time or opportunity to try to memorize the verse? That means what? The absorption is somewhere else. There are so many hazar things. Material world means distraction. It will distract. That is the nature of the three modes, to distract us, to degrade us, and to dissolve us. But every time, why do we become victim of it? How to save ourselves? By coming under the shelter of the Supreme Lord, by performing regulated devotional service. If you are observing Kartik, you must align 1 extra hour out of your 24 hours. I don't think any one of you practice more than 4 hours. 2 hours of chanting, 1 hour of hearing, and maybe 1 more hour. On an average, on 30 days, it will be difficult to make it 4 hours. But if you are observing Kartik, how can you say that Kartik is special? Then we are able to devote some extra time. That is what is our offering. What else? What else do we have to offer to the Lord? So, if we are not doing that, that means we are not valuing. Then there is only show. Where is our love and affection? So, love and affection means that we are giving priority. We are not getting distracted or disoriented in other things or other issues. So here the rasa is being talked about. When one associates with the Lord and exchanges one's constitutional rasa. What is the constitutional rasa? Is of service. Jivere Swarup hoye Krishnera Nitya Das. And Das means what? Stamp Das. Pandav Prem Das. Or Ravinder Madhusudan Das. Or Manoram Jagannath Das. No. Dasa means that he does some service. He performs service. The Shruti mantras indicate that every living being has his constitutional position. And constitutional position never changes. Krishna speaks that in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd verse, 2nd chapter. Krishna speaks that the constitutional position of the jiva can never change. His bodies can change. His planets can change. Everything else can change. But one thing remains unchanged. That is his constitutional position of the jiva. Nitya sarvagata sthanur achalo ayam sanatana. In the 2nd chapter, Krishna, when he is giving the discourse between the difference between the body and spirit, so Krishna is speaking that. I think it is 2.23 or 24. That Nitya, it is Nitya, Sarvagata in every part of the universe. Sthanur, unchangeable, and it is Achaloyam, which cannot be moved. Nitya Sarvagata Sthanar Achaloyam Sanatana. Which is endowed with a particular type of rasa to be exchanged with the personality of Godhead. In the liberated condition only, this primary rasa is experienced in full. This is very important. So don't imitate this primary 5 rasas, even the Shant rasa. We take it very cheaply. Shant ras kya hai? Kuch nahi hai. घास फूस है. गोलोक में जो घास है वो सब शांत रस में है. या गोलोक में जो गाय हैं या मोर हैं वो शांत रस में. मेरा रस तो ऊपर है. मेरा रस कहाँ से शुरू होता है? कम से कम दास्य रस से. उससे नीचे तो रस है ही नहीं. Where is the exchange? हाँ, यही सोच रहे हैं ना. Prabhupada is clarifying. Prabhupada is saying that these 5 primary rasas, in the liberated condition only, this primary rasa is experienced in full. You may get some glance, some trickling effect. In the material existence, the rasa is experienced in the perverted form. which is temporary. And thus the rasas of the material world are exhibited in the material form of Rudra, Raudra, anger, and so on. Perverted form आप समझते हैं ना? Reverse. Urdhamulam adha shakam. Therefore, one who attains full knowledge of these different rasas, which are the basic principles of activities, can understand the false representations of the original rasas, which are reflected in the material world. The learned scholar seeks to relish the real rasa in the spiritual form. In the beginning, he desires to become one with the Supreme. The less intelligent transcendentalist cannot go beyond this conception of becoming one with the spirit whole without knowing the different rasas. So should I continue? It's a big purport. We won't be able to complete it. Boliye? Or you want some discussion? And then we continue tomorrow. See, understanding can only become possible if we really discuss, if we have pertinent question and we discuss that. So the subject matter will start to expand. I'm sorry, I have to be heavy. If I don't push, you will never ever study. You will never ever memorize. You will never ever serve. The same is with us. We are being pushed to perform because this is the nature of the conditioned soul. The conditioned soul is always lost in sense gratification. He is always in self-absorption. And that self-absorption has to be cut. And it has to be cut by force. And very fortunate are those souls who have someone to cut. Otherwise, it remains uncut for millions of years and millions of lifetimes. And we keep rotating. Yes, Manoram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, the constitutional position of Jiva cannot be changed at any stage. Then how different rasas are experienced? Means constitutional position means this is Dasuras or it can comprise with others also.
Very good question. Very thoughtful question. Okay, I'll give you one example. One example comes to my mind immediately. What is your most favorite food item? Which one item that you eat the most in your life? Be very
rice, Prabhuji, rice.
Thank you for an honest answer. Rice. So the constitutional food in your intake is rice, right? But how many varieties of rice can be prepared?
Many varieties.
You have tamarind rice, you have coconut rice, you have lemon rice, you have saffron rice, you have puliogiri. Then what you have pakhal bhat. There are many varieties. And when you take different varieties, how do you like? What happens to you?
More tasty feeling.
You get more relish. If you are every day offered the same plain rice, how do you feel? This was one example which really struck me in my heart. This was given by Gaur Govind Prabhu. Gaur Gopal Prabhu. Gaur Gopal Prabhu was explaining about the rasa. So this is rasa. Every day, if you are served the plain rice, morning, evening, afternoon, you will not like that. Sometimes you have, peanuts in it. Sometimes you have cashews in it. Sometimes it is biryanis and what all. There are many varieties. So similarly, the Supreme Law, the underlying constitutional position is like the rice. But there are different flavors to it. So, and every living entity has unique relationship with Krishna. There are many combinations, many. Just don't restricted to 5 basic, primary, and 7 secondary. No. There are millions and millions, unlimited. Because there is overlapping of one rasa over the other. Like Ramya answered, she was a little puzzled. How Prabhuji is saying that Prahlad Maharaj is in Shantaras? I am not saying. Srila Prabhupada is saying. In Nectar of Devotion. So he is principally into Shantaras, but at times he also exhibits the Dasyaras. So the gopis, if you see the rasa, it is also very advanced. So in Dasyaras, Shantaras is already included. But when the relationship becomes more intimate, there are 2 aspects of relationship. One is intimacy, that how much closeness you have with Krishna. And to the extent you have intimacy, there is more sweetness in the rasa and the exchange. So when the intimacy increases, the sweetness also increases. So when the progression is there, the jiva comes more closer and condensed in relationship with Krishna. So that dasya rasa can elevate to sakhya rasa. Like you see, we are all disciples of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. But not all disciples have same relationship with Guru Maharaj. Some have very formal. Some have some informal relationship also with Guru Maharaj. Some of my senior God brothers, Guru Maharaj always, takes some consultation with them also. So what rasa they are exchanging? Along with the dasya ras, they also have the rasa of sakhya. Maharaj is consulting with them. Maharaj is asking, what is your opinion? What do you think about it? What should be done? Prabhupada also, you see, Prabhupada many times he consulted Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Rameshwar Swami, Sassarup Maharaj. Many times Prabhupada was asking Brahmanand Swami, and you tell me what should be done, or even Shutakriti Prabhu. Although they are disciples. So Prabhupada was also exchanging with them friendship. So why? Because Supreme Lord is exchanging. So with Arjuna, so Arjuna becomes horrified. You see in the 11th chapter that I am thinking that you are my friend and I have committed so many offenses. Sakheti he Yadav, he Madhaveti. I am calling you with Yadav that you are my friend. We slept together, we ate together many times. I made joke of you. So I have committed such grave offense. But Krishna is not minding that. So these rasas, as the intimacy and the sweetness exchange, it gets condensed and more closer. It becomes more deeper. So in the sakhya ras, dasya ras is there. How? Because there is a desire to serve. And in Vatsalya also. But the parental affection is exhibited more. That flavor changes. But the constitutional position does not change. Rice remains rice. So is in Madhurya. When it is the highest. When there is no one else. There is only one. Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravishayitam. Shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda viharena. That you are my only Lord, my only lover. So that is very high. Right? Prabhupada is saying all these rasas, the primary, even from Shanta, can only be experienced in full those who are liberated. So in conditioned stage, what we have to practice? We have to practice the Dasyarati. Kankaryam. We went to Tirupati. So the predominance in all other, apart from Gaudiya, is Kankaryam. Even in our Sampradaya. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us the Unnat Ujjwal Rasa Swabhakti Shriya. He has given us the path to progress beyond Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya and Vatsalya, and even come to the point of Madhurya. That is why it is Anarpita Chiram Chirat. That which was never offered before. Krishna did not offer it to anyone else. Did he offer the love of gopis outside Vrindavan to anyone? No one. Not even to the queens of Dwarika. Did he offer them? No. They were also thinking that what is the love of the gopis? That Krishna's heart is still hankering for them, even in the midst of our association. So the mood thing is, the constitutional position is the same. But the exchange varies depending on one's love and affection. When the love and affection towards the Lord gets more condensed, then these others, rasas, can be exhibited. Not artificial. One should not try to imitate or show that I am in Dasyaras. Of course, we are all in Dasyaras. One should not claim that I am in Vatsalyaras. Krishna to mera beta hai. Sometimes we see elderly ladies not following proper regulative principles of deity worship, but still thinking that they are, the Supreme Lord is his son. No. Sanatana Goswami chastised, you remember? Sanatana Goswami chastised that Brahmini, that what are you doing, mother? This is Madan Gopal, this is the Supreme Lord. And on one hand you are, brushing yourself, and from the other hand you are cooking for him. This is not possible. Don't treat him like your son. And of course, Madan Gopal came back. He came to accept service from Sanatana Goswami. Okay, clear? It's a very good example of rice.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you for asking. Others are not even asking to get the clearer conception. Very important that we put relevant question to have proper understanding of what we are discussing. Otherwise, this will remain in the book and our conceptions will not change. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Okay, you share with me how differently you are observing Kartik. Yes, Sonika. Boliye. Sonika, your hand is up. You can unmute and speak.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Boliye.
Prabhuji, you have explained that we have to do this devotional service with our whole heart, not for the show. But in our case, in my case, I am not doing it with full heart. Means like it is not connecting 100%. It is just like a show only. So means how should we continue?
No, it is not a show. I can prove it. When the child is admitted to the school, does he show interest in learning? Does he show any interest in learning his lessons or attending the classes?
No.
No. But he keeps coming to the school, isn't it? So one who is attending and one who is attempting, that means he is not making a show. He has some genuine desire. It is different that he is struggling. Everyone is struggling in this material world. There's so many reasons. Because of our past karmas, our conditionings, the influence of the lower levels of modes, our anarthas, our so many material desires. But to the extent we, hang on to the process. This is what sadhana bhakti is. Sadhana bhakti means that we have to struggle. We have to go against our nature. What is our nature? Our nature in this material existence is for sense gratification and sense enjoyment. And while we are practicing, what we are doing, we are declaring a war. War against our own mind. Our own false ego, which does not allow us to do. So how to be sure that we are not making a show? The attempt is sincere. And how to know the attempt is sincere? We are making changes. We are making changes. According to our conditioning, according to our desires, according to our priorities, we are not allowing our practice to be influenced. So we are changing. So every day, as I am so many times saying, Krishna is revealing in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, how to overcome the conditioning is by following the rigid practice of devotional service. Sleep on time. Break the conditioning. Why we want to remain a victim of our conditioning? Break it. And Krishna is empowering. Is the conditioning is more empowered than Krishna? No, but let us allow Krishna to work. Krishna says, Yukta har viharasya yukta cheshtasa karmasu yukta swapna bodhasya yogi bhavati dukkha. It is not my, opinion or my requirement. It is Krishna. What is Krishna is empowering this process by giving the principles. So what we do? We apply the principles with utmost sincerity, without fail. And gradually what we will see, the conditioning will become weak. We will be situated in the mode of goodness. Very important. I saw your sadhana card. After many, many days, I saw that you are waking up in Brahma Muhurat. So I told you to sleep in time, because otherwise your body will not allow you. If you sleep every day at 12 and wake up at 4, we are not Goswamis. It will not happen to us. But what is the difficulty in sleeping? As soon as the work is over, sleep. Don't allow the conditioning to continue. If we allow our conditioning to continue, then we are not serious. Then we are giving the conditioning more importance than Krishna's recommendation. And every day you are chanting, following the 4 regulative principles. In Kali Yuga, anyone to be able to follow 4 regulative principles, it is not possible who is making a show. He just cannot make it possible. He will break. And he will not be able to chant 16 rounds. I can guarantee it. To be able to chant every day 16 rounds. Actual 16. Spending at least 7 to 8 minutes on each round. And not doing any other activity. Not playing with mobile, not attending some other things. It's just not possible. I have seen so many, hundreds, only few survive. Only those who survive who are sincere. Krishna empowers them. So if we are sincerely attempting, we are following, that is not a show. That is the expression of love. That is the expression of being sincere and serious. But that also has many levels. Many, many levels. So from level 1, we have to come to level 2. From level 2, then we have to come to level 3. Every day, sincerely. Try to chant 16 rounds before 7. Maximum by 8. Minimum 16. And then 16 is for every day. Then what about Kartik month? How can we say that we can receive some special mercy of Srimati Radharani? What special service are we doing? If we are not doing any special service, then how can we say that we deserve mercy? In fact, if you will see, I have never spoken about it. Hari Bhakti Vilas, Srila Sanatan Goswami has quoted more than 50 verses. More than 50 verses for those who are not sincerely observing Kartik Vrata. What is their destination? It is very heavy. He says he is an animal amongst men and he is the most condemned person. So we should change, at least change for 1 month. If we cannot change for full year, then at least change for 1 month. And I see that in Kartik month, in Mangal Aarti, maximum attendance is there. क्यों भाई देवाशीष देख रहे हो?
Yes, Guruji.
हाँ, मैं इतने सालों से मंगला आरती देख रहा हूँ from 2009. जो पूरे साल कभी नहीं आते वो भी कम से कम कार्तिक में मंगल आरती आ जाती है. मंगल आरती भी आते, दीपदान भी आ गए. अभी हमने सुबह दीपदान बंद करा दिया क्योंकि बहुत से आलसी लोग सोचते हैं कि सुबह दीपदान कर लिया अब शाम को आने की जरूरत नहीं. हमारे टेम्पल कमांडर ने बड़ा सख्त आदेश दिया, बोला किसी को दीपदान करते हुए देख लिया उसको मंगल आरती में आने नहीं देंगे. बंद करा दिया सब. बोले शाम को आओ दीपदान करो. आने सब अभी सुबह शाम दोनों समय आ रहे. So it is not a show. But the point is, why it is show? Because we are not having that genuine interest. So for that genuine interest, we have to be liberated. How we will be liberated? When we are rigidly following. So follow, practice, make the sincerest of attempt. We have to make Krishna acknowledge that we are sincere. We are serious. But don't let any opportunity go waste in Kartik. Plan for next day. Plan today. So that your practice remains intact. You are doing writing, so you have stopped writing. At least in Kartik, write. When you have the ability to be able to write while you are hearing, to write it. So you will have notes of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is our biggest asset. Our asset is not bank balance. We're not interested in bank balance or how many houses we have or how many cars or mobiles or how many rings we have. We are more interested in how much assimilation we have in the heart. Even if not in the heart, then let us have it in the book, in the copy, in the text. So it is not a show. But the genuine, that rasa or that taste will be released from Krishna. When he will release, when he will see that we are sincere. He is releasing. That is why you are coming every day and hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. How about others? They are not hearing. Some of them who met me, Prabhu ji, मुझे आपने लिंक नहीं भेजा. मैंने कहा भाई मैं देखता हूँ कितने दिन सुनोगे आप. नहीं सुन पाएंगे, बहुत मुश्किल है. लेकिन हमें अपॉर्चुनिटी मिला है तो एटलीस्ट मेक द मोस्ट ऑफ इट. हियर, रीड, राइट, शेयर, chant more. While chanting, pray to the Supreme Lord. Every day we should pray. While we are offering Damodar Ashtakam, pray to the Lord to release us from the lower modes, to release us from the conditioning, to develop some genuine attraction for Him. Whenever there is opportunity to serve, try and introduce as many people to at least do Deepdan. Do some service. Service means expression of love. Okay, it is getting late. I hope I have answered.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Are you convinced or not? I'm asking you. What is your...
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I'll tell you one more example. Very prompt example. Very convincing example. You have seen the night guards.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Every important place, there are some night guards who are there. The night guards are there to, keep watching. And how do they keep watching? They have a stick and they have one whistle. Time to time, they are blowing the whistle, and with that stick, they are banging the stick on the floor and telling, it is not now, but I have heard it, I have seen it in my childhood. They used to say, जागते रहो. सुना है, देखा है, नहीं देखा है? जागते रहो. They will blow whistle, they will bang the stick on the floor. While they are doing this activity, they are getting paid. While doing this activity, whether they are thinking of their wife, their children, their money, their bank balance, who cares? Till the time they are doing their duty honestly, they are paid for it, right or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Simple. So you wake up in time, you sleep in time, you chant, you preach, matter finishes. We have done our part. What is Krishna's part? Hidayantasso hi abhadrani vidhunuti suhitsitam. He will enter into the heart and remove the impurities. This is his promise. Shanvatam swakatha Krishna punyo shavanam kirtanam. Hidayantasto hi abhadrani vidhunuti suhitsitam. This is our hope. That the cleansing work is not in our hand. That is the prerogative of Krishna. But we should do our part. We should play our role. And depend on Krishna. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. So please keep observing. I am observing your sadhana card. Very few of you I can see from the sadhana card the impact of Kartik. So please let me realize that yes, you are observing Kartik. And those who are not sending sadhana card, write-up has also been stopped. This is the very good observation of Kartik. What they were doing in regular practice, that also they have dropped. This is the special observation of Kartik. Then we want special mercy. On what basis and why? So don't succumb to our conditioning. Become a rigid practitioner. And Prabhupada says success is sure. Hare Krishna.